Hey everybody, it's Tami, your insurance lady, and I have an exercise for you. So I need you to get 3 things. I need you to get a pen, a piece of paper, and a calculator. Unless you can add numbers in your head and then you don't need a calculator, you just be a genius. Okay, pause this video. I'll wait. Now that you have a pen and paper, we're going to write down some numbers. If you were to die tomorrow, what's your funeral going to look like? Are you going to be cremated? Are you going to be buried in a casket? Are you going to have a service and a burial and a dinner afterwards or lunch afterwards? What's the plan? And how much is your family going to have to pay for that? So the average funeral is anywhere from $8,000, $9,000, all the way to $20,000. For me, because I'm going to do this exercise with you guys, I'm putting 25 because I better have a good funeral. Y'all better have a party. Okay, question number 2. Your house. If you were to die tomorrow, what would happen to your house? How much is it to pay your house off? Would you want your family to remain in that home and have the house paid off so you don't have to worry about it? Would you just want maybe 5 years of mortgage payments taken care of? If you rent, would you want your family to be able to stay in that rent house for 5, 10, 20 years after you're gone? This is your number. You write this down. Either what your house is to pay it off or what your house would be to rent for however many years you'd want them to stay. Maybe you want your family to buy a home. What's the going rate for homes these days? Maybe that's your number. Write that down. Okay, question number 3. What do you own on your vehicle? If you're still making payments, what would it cost to pay your car off tomorrow? Maybe you don't want your family to have your car. Your call. In that case, write a 0 down. But if you're still making car payments and you want your family to have your vehicle where they don't have to worry about that payment, what do you owe in your car? I'm going to write down what I owe on my daughter's car. Okay, question number 4. What about your debts? Do you have credit cards? Do you have personal loans? Do you have any other debt that you would not want your family to have to worry about if you didn't make it home tomorrow? So I've got credit cards. I'm going to write down what I owe. You write down your number. Okay, question number 5. Children. Do you want your kids to go to college? What is the average price to go to college in Texas? I don't know. I think when I looked it up, it was $12,000 a year times 4 years times how many kids you have. I have 5. Get my calculator. But if you don't want your kids to go to college or you think they're going to get a scholarship, that's fine. Would you want to give them some money for a down payment on a home? $20,000, $25,000 to get them started? Whatever your number is for your children, write it down. I'm going to write down mine and try not to have a heart attack at this number. Oh yeah, it's a lot. Okay, question number 6. If your family depends on your income, then what's going to happen to your family if you die tomorrow? Think about it. How are they going to pay for electricity, for water, for food, for fuel, school clothes, just the daily things that you need without your income? And okay, if the house is paid off and the car is paid off and all your other debts are paid off, maybe they don't need your entire income. Maybe they only need a portion of it. Maybe they only need 60% of it. This is your number. You think about it. Pause this video. Think about what number your family would need if you weren't here anymore. I already know mine. You figure yours out. Okay. I will give you a little hint on how I figured out the number that I picked. My youngest child is 7. So I thought if I were to die tomorrow, my husband would have at least 11 years of having to take care of my children until my youngest is old enough to be an adult. Not that he would be on his own at 18, but 11 years of my income my husband would need to take care of our children. So my annual income times 11 is my number. What's yours? Okay, so now take all those numbers, grab your calculator, add them up. Or if you're a genius, add them up in your head. Whatever. What's the number? Is it more than you thought? Is it less than you thought? Because that's the number that you need to have in life insurance. Are you shocked? I know I was the first time I did this exercise. Okay, so now that you have your need, write down underneath that how much life insurance you have through your work and subtract it. Okay, now write down how much life insurance you have that you own, a policy that stays with you no matter where you work. Write that number down and subtract it. Whatever that number is, that's how much life insurance you need. Do you have enough? Are you covered? Or do you need to give me a call? Okay, I do want to mention something about work life insurance. It is really great to have, but you can't rely on that 100%. And here's why. You might quit. You might retire. Things happen. I worked for a company for over 13 years, as many of you know, and when I left, I couldn't afford the health or the life insurance without the group discount, and the premium was ridiculous, and I lost it. The bad part was that my husband had cancer, and the type of cancer he had requires that he be cancer-free for 10 years before he gets coverage. He's only been in remission for 7 years. So the joke is, he better stay alive for another 3 years because he's not going to leave me to raise these 5 kids by myself. But it's not really a joke. I wish I would have gotten insurance outside of work back then. Okay, so now that you have your number, give me a call. Tell me what your number is, and let's come up with a plan to protect your family. Maybe you get whole life. Maybe you get term. Maybe you get a combination. Little bit of whole, little bit of term. If you don't know the difference, that's fine. I'll explain it to you. Maybe you can't afford to get your whole amount right now. Let's get you started with something, because something is better than nothing, and we can add more to it later. But let me help you protect your family. If you've been putting it off, this has been the easiest way to figure out what your number is. You're on your phone with your piece of paper, writing it down, and now you just call me or shoot me a text. 512-507-4778. Yes, I had to look because I don't never call myself. Okay, what are you waiting for? Video's over.